Imagine walking down a city street. Any city, really. You're not paying attention, just going about your day. Then you glance down and you see it, something embedded in the asphalt. Something that shouldn't be there. It's a tile, carefully constructed, and it contains a message, a strange, unsettling message. These are the Toynbee tiles, and they're a mystery that's been baffling people for decades. The first Toynbee tiles appeared in the 1980s, primarily in the major cities on the east coast of the United States, Philadelphia, Baltimore, New York City. But they didn't stay confined to one region. Over time, tiles began appearing in other cities across the Americas, even as far as the south as Buenos Aires, Argentina. This geographical spread is one of the most perplexing aspects of the mystery. It suggests a level of planning and coordination that's difficult to comprehend. Someone, or some group, is going to extraordinary lengths to place these tiles in specific locations. The tiles themselves are not simply painted or drawn into the street. They are meticulously constructed from layers of different materials. The most common material is linoleum and asphalt, but some tiles also incorporate other elements such as reflective tape, ceramic tiles, and even pieces of metal. The process of embedding these tiles into the asphalt is also significant. It requires a certain level of skill and knowledge, as well as the ability to work undetected in public spaces. The tiles are typically placed in high traffic areas where they are likely to be seen by a large number of people. This suggests that the creator wants their message to be seen, but they also want to remain anonymous. The messages on the Toynbee tiles are often cryptic and difficult to decipher. However, there are several recurring themes and phrases that appear on many of the tiles. One of the most common references is to the British historian and philosopher Arnold Toynbee. Toynbee is best known for his theory of the rise and fall of civilizations, a theory that suggests that all societies are subject to cycles of growth, decline, and eventual collapse. The tiles often include phrases such as Toynbee's idea or Toynbee's theory, suggesting that the creator is somehow connected to Toynbee's work. Another recurring theme on the Toynbee tiles is the concept of resurrecting the dead on planet Jupiter. This is perhaps the most bizarre and unsettling aspect of the mystery. The tiles often include phrases such as resurrect dead on planet Jupiter or bring back the dead on Jupiter. The connection to Jupiter is particularly strange, as there is no scientific basis for the idea that life could exist on the planet, let alone that the dead could be resurrected there. This suggests that the creator may be operating from a unique and unconventional worldview. The final recurring theme on the Toynbee tiles is a reference to the film 2001, A Space Odyssey. The tiles often include phrases such as 2001 or Kubrick's 2001, suggesting that the creator is somehow inspired by the film. 2001, A Space Odyssey is a science fiction film that explores themes of human evolution, artificial intelligence, and the search for extraterrestrial life. The film is known for its enigmatic and ambiguous imagery, which may be part of the reason why it resonates with the creator of the Toynbee tiles. The Toynbee tiles remain a mystery. Their purpose, their creator, and their message are all unknown. But one thing is certain, they are a reminder that there are still strange and unexplained things happening in the world, things that defy easy explanation. And sometimes, the most unsettling mysteries are the ones that are right beneath our feet. Imagine the silence, a silence so profound, so complete, it's almost deafening. That's the silence that greeted Joe LaBelle in November 1930 when he stumbled upon a village near Lake Anjikuni in the remote wilderness of northern Canada, a village that was supposed to be bustling with life, but instead was empty. This is the story of the Lake Anjikuni disappearance, and it's a mystery that has haunted the Canadian Arctic for nearly a century. Joe LaBelle was a seasoned trapper, familiar with the harsh realities of the Canadian wilderness. He knew the Inuit people who lived in the villages scattered throughout the region, and he often traded with them for furs and supplies. On this particular trip, LaBelle was heading to a village near Lake Anjikuni, a village he knew to be inhabited by a small community of Inuit families. But as he approached the village, he noticed something was wrong. There were no signs of life, no smoke rising from the chimneys, no barking of dogs. The village was eerily silent. LaBelle cautiously entered the village, and what he found was truly unsettling. The dwellings were empty, but they were not abandoned. Belongings were left behind: tools, clothing, weapons, everything the villagers owned. It was as if they had simply vanished, leaving their lives behind in an instant. The details of LaBelle's discovery are what make this story so chilling. The fact that the villagers left behind their possessions suggests that they did not leave voluntarily. They didn't pack for a journey. They simply disappeared. One of the most unsettling details was the state of the village's cooking fires. In some of the dwellings, fires were still smoldering, indicating that they had been lit just hours before. This suggests that the villagers were going about their daily routines when something happened, something that caused them to abandon everything and flee. Another disturbing detail was the lack of footprints. There were no signs of anyone leaving the village, no tracks in the snow, no indication of which direction they might have gone. It was as if they had simply vanished into the air. But the most disturbing discovery of all was the state of the village graveyard. LaBelle found that the graves had been opened, and the bodies were missing. Not just the one or two graves, but all of them. It was as if someone had systematically exhumed the entire cemetery. The act of disturbing graves is deeply taboo in Inuit culture, and it suggests that whoever was responsible for the disappearance was either completely ignorant of Inuit customs or deliberately desecrating them. The missing bodies added another layer of mystery to the disappearance. Where did they go? Why were they taken? And who would commit such a gruesome act? Adding to the unsettling nature of the discovery, LaBelle found 7 sled dogs, starved to death, tied up near the village. Sled dogs were essential to the Inuit way of life, providing transportation, hunting assistance, and companionship. The fact that the villagers would abandon their dogs, leaving them to starve, is almost incomprehensible. It suggests that they were either forced to leave in such a hurry that they couldn't take the dogs with them, or that they were somehow prevented from doing so. The image of those starving dogs, left to die in the desolate landscape, is a stark reminder of the desperation and tragedy that must have unfolded in the village of Lake Anjikuni. The Royal Canadian Mounted Police launched an investigation into the disappearance, but they found no clues to explain what had happened. There were no signs of a struggle, no evidence of foul play, no indication of where the villagers might have gone. The RCMP interviewed other Inuit communities in the area, but no one had seen or heard anything about the missing villagers. Over the years, numerous theories have been proposed to explain the Lake Anjikuni disappearance. Some believe that the villagers were victims of a mass abduction taken by aliens or some other unknown force. Others suggest that they were attacked by a rival tribe, or that they fell prey to some kind of supernatural entity. Some even speculate about a government cover-up. But the truth is, nobody knows for sure what happened to the people of Lake Anjikuni, and that's what makes the story so haunting. The Lake Anjikuni disappearance remains one of the most baffling mysteries of the 20th century. The empty village, the smoldering fires, the disturbed graves, the starving dogs. These are the details that linger in the mind, creating a sense of unease and dread. What happened to the people of Lake Anjikuni? Did they fall victim to some earthly tragedy, or were they taken by something else? The answer remains elusive, lost in the vast and unforgiving wilderness of the Canadian Arctic. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Imagine tuning your shortwave radio late at night, scanning through the static, the hiss, the random bursts of noise. Then you stumble across it, a voice, emotionless, robotic, reading out strings of numbers. It's repetitive, meaningless, and utterly devoid of context. This is a numbers station, and what they are, who runs them, and what they're really saying remains one of the most intriguing and unsettling mysteries of the Cold War and beyond. Numbers stations are shortwave radio stations that broadcast coded messages. These messages typically consist of sequence of numbers read out loud in a monotone voice, often using a synthesized or robotic voice. The broadcasts are usually preceded by a distinctive musical signature or interval signal, which helps listeners identify the station. These stations operate on shortwave frequencies, allowing their signal to travel long distances, reaching listeners across continents. This is crucial because the primary purpose of these stations is believed to be communicating with spies and intelligence operatives in the field. The most widely accepted theory about how numbers stations work involves the use of a one-time pad. A one-time pad is a cryptographic system where each message is encrypted using a unique, random-generated key. This key is used only once and then discarded. If implemented correctly, a one-time pad is theoretically unbreakable. The numbers broadcast by the station represent the encrypted message. The spy, who has a copy of the one-time pad, uses it to decrypt the message and reveal its true meaning. The beauty of this system is simplicity and security. Without the one-time pad, the message is just a string of random numbers. But with the pad, the message can be deciphered quickly and easily. Number stations are believed to have originated during the Cold War, when intelligence agencies on both sides of the Iron Curtain were engaged in a constant game of cat and mouse. These stations provided a secure and reliable way to communicate with spies operating in hostile territory. While the Cold War may be over, number stations continue to operate today. This suggests that the espionage is still a reality and that these stations are still serving a purpose. Some stations have been linked to specific countries or intelligence agencies based on their language, location, and transmission patterns. However, the identities of the operators are rarely confirmed, and the true purpose of many stations remains a mystery. What makes number stations so unsettling is their inherent strangeness and ambiguity. The robotic voices, the repetitive numbers, the lack of context. It all creates a sense of unease and paranoia. Some stations use bizarre musical signatures, such as children's songs played backwards or distorted, or strange electronic noises. These elements add to the overall unsettling atmosphere. One of the most well-known number stations is known as the Lincolnshire Poacher, which uses a sample of the English folk song of the same name as its interval signal. Another station, known as UVB-76, or the Buzzer, transmits a constant buzzing sound, interrupted only by occasional voice messages. The purpose of these unique characteristics is unknown, but they contribute to the overall mystique and unsettling nature of numbers stations. The true purpose of numbers stations is a matter of constant speculation. While the most common theory is that they are used for espionage, other theories have been proposed. Some believe that they are used to communicate with drug traffickers or terrorist organizations. Others suggest that they are part of a larger government conspiracy. The truth is, nobody knows for sure what these stations are really used for, and that's what makes them so compelling. They are a glimpse into a hidden world, a world of secrets and shadows, where information is transmitted in the most cryptic and unsettling ways imaginable. Numbers stations continue to broadcast their coded messages, a constant reminder that these are the things happening in the world that we don't understand. The robotic voices, the random numbers, the static-filled airwaves, they are a chilling reminder of the hidden world of espionage and the secrets that lie just beneath the surface. December 26, 1900, a ship reports a vital lighthouse is dark, extinguished in the teeth of a raging storm, something that sent a chill down the spine of even the most seasoned sailors. The Flannan Isles lighthouse was dark, not just temporarily out of service, dark as if someone had snuffed out a vital flame. And when a relief crew finally landed on the storm-battered island, they found something far more disturbing than just a broken light. They found nothing. This is the story of the Flannan Isles lighthouse and the three men who vanished into thin air, leaving behind a mystery that still whispers on the wind. The Flannan Isles, a cluster of jagged rocks and unforgiving terrain, are no place for the faint of heart. The lighthouse on Eileen Moor was built to tame those treacherous waters, a beacon of hope in a desolate landscape. Thomas Marshall, James Ducat, and Donald MacArthur were the keepers of that flame, men used to solitude and the harsh realities of the island life. But on that Boxing Day in 1900, something shattered their routine. The Hesperus, carrying relief keeper Joseph Moore, approached the island with growing unease. No welcoming flag, no sign of life. Landing was difficult, the waves crashing against the rocks. Moore made his way to the lighthouse, his boots crunching on the gravel path. The main gate, unlatched, swinging slightly in the wind. The heavy oak door to the lighthouse itself, unlocked. He stepped inside, calling out the names of the keepers. Only the echo of his own voice answered. What Moore found inside wasn't just an absence. It was a tableau of unsettling details. The beds were unmade, as if the occupants had been roused suddenly. A half-eaten meal sat on the kitchen table, cold and abandoned. A chair lay overturned, and then there was the oilskin. Only two were hanging in their place. One was missing. Now, these weren't just any jackets. These were heavy, waterproof garments, essential for survival in the brutal weather that constantly lashed the island. To go outside without one, especially in a storm, was almost a death trap. The lamp, the heart of the lighthouse, was in perfect working order, but unlit, a cardinal sin for a lighthouse keeper, and the clock stopped. frozen at a time that offered no explanation. It was as if time itself had given up on the island. A frantic search of the island revealed nothing. No bodies, no signs of a struggle, just the relentless wind and the crashing waves. But then more found it, the western landing. This was a small, rocky outcrop used to receive supplies. Here, the scene was different. The iron railings that lined the path down to the landing were twisted and broken, as if some immense force had been unleashed. A massive rock, weighing several tons, had been dislodged from its position. The ground was scarred and gouged. It was clear. A colossal wave had struck this part of the island. But the question remained, what were two men doing down there in the middle of a storm? And where was the third? The official explanation, then and now, is a rogue wave, a sudden, unexpected surge of water that swept the men away. That explanation feels incomplete. It doesn't account for the missing oilskin, doesn't explain the overturned chair, it doesn't address the feeling of wrongness that permeated the lighthouse. Over the years, other theories have emerged, darker theories, theories of madness, of a pact with the sea, of a supernatural force at play on the island. Some whispers of the sea serpent dragging the men down to a watery grave. Others spoke of government conspiracy, a secret experiment gone awry. The truth, whatever it may be, remains elusive, lost in the crashing waves and the howling wind. The Flannan Isles lighthouse still stands, automated now, its lamp faithfully sweeping the horizon. But the story of Thomas Marshall, James Ducat, and Donald MacArthur clings to the stone like sea mist. It's a story that reminds us that some mysteries defy explanation, that some places hold secrets that the sea will never relinquish. It's a story that whispers of the unknown, of the fragility of life, and the terrifying power of the natural world. The disappearance of the Flannan Isles lighthouse keepers isn't just a historical footnote. It's a chilling reminder that even at the age of technology, some questions remain unanswered, some darkness remains unilluminated. And if you find yourself drawn to these unsolved mysteries, these tales of the strange and unexplained, then hit that subscribe button. Join me as I delve deeper into the shadows, searching for answers in a world that often prefers to keep its secrets hidden.